So which one of us do you think invited their ex to the wedding? Hello TV family, welcome back to Ted and Vero TV. My name is Veronica and this is my incredible husband.
Hi, I'm Ted.
Thank you so much for joining us today. This is story time. So this is how this story begins. Okay, I've dated a few. I haven't really been out there like that, but I've dated, when I lived in Maryland, grown woman. Made some mistakes until before I met my incredible husband. I was in a few relationships, broke up, didn't work out, Most of the relationship I went in, I was always hoping that they would end in marriage. I mean, for me at least, every time I was in a relationship with somebody, I hope that that relationship will end up in marriage. So I put my all in the relationship. I'm invested in the person. Yeah. And, I do everything that I'm supposed to do. But it's rather unfortunate that I wouldn't even say that it's rather unfortunate, because I believe none of those people were the one for me. Because if they were, I would never have met Ted. And God knows how to protect us and to spare us from headaches. Okay, so let me get into it. So I was in a relationship with this guy. We did it for a while. The relationship was good. He became, eventually it was more than a relationship, and he became more like a friend. And so he cheated, obviously. So when he cheated and we broke up, it became a matter of, okay, I'm losing a friend, because like I said, he became more of a friend, and I really appreciated this guy, okay? And so he never really cared that, okay, he cheated. I forgave him. We let it go. I didn't talk to him for a while because I was angry, But eventually I forgave him. I ran into him a few times because we lived around the same area. I always said hi to him. We talk, hey Veronica, how you doing? I even met one of his girlfriend one time. I spoke with her a little bit. He invited me out to go out with them for dinner. I think I even went out once with them for dinner. And I think the other day I was telling Ted, I'm the type of person that when someone wrongs me, it's very hard for me. Even when I forgive them, it's hard for me to just like walk away. I'm the type of person that is always holding on to people, even when they abuse and they wrong me. Now I'm not like that anymore. But for the longest time, one of the toxic traits that I had was holding on to people, even after they wounded me or they hurt me. Whether it came to friends, whether it came to family members, and whether it came to the men I dated, I'll always hang around because I felt like I needed people. Being alone for so long, growing up and feeling lonely. So I always felt like I needed to hold on to people. And so this relationship, one of those things. Despite what this guy did to me, because he had become a friend, I was still hanging around with him. I even went to dinner with him and his new girlfriend. What was I thinking? But
some of this stuff I've never heard of.
I've never even told him this, So, I went to dinner, hang out with these people. I was eating. Meanwhile, in my mind, I was thinking that, hey, this guy cheated on me. Now I'm sitting, my African accent has come out. This guy cheated on me. Now I'm sitting here eating dinner with him and his new girlfriend. What kind of person are you, Vero? You must have, I don't know, this heart that God has given you is beyond a human heart, because...
Well, I'd say your self-worth has increased since then, too.
Oh, 100%. Thank you, honey. My self-worth has increased ever since then, to be honest with you, because I sat there, ate with this man and his girlfriend. They were having conversation. They were making plans about where they were traveling to. And I'm like, shouldn't this be me and him? Why? And I was even giving this girl fashion advice. I was telling her what she wear when they go to this country, what she should do. And in my mind, I'm like, it's paining me. That thing is paining me. But I'm like, do I still like him? At that time, I had gotten over him, but I was still holding on to the bitterness. But I couldn't let him go for some reason, because I didn't know how to let people go. So he'll call me anytime him and the girl were having a little issue. I'm the one he'll call. Veronica, man, she messed up. This girl messed up. I'm like, what did she do? And I'll give him advice. And then he will go and fix his relationship. And then, she will call me and be like, oh, this. And then she knew that we dated, but he told her that we only dated a little bit. And, stupidity. Instead of me to tell this girl we dated for longer than, we dated for like 15 to 16 months, actually. So that was more than just a little bit. So I'm like, oh, we just, we met, we talked to each other here and there. We didn't really, it wasn't really that deep. I know I was supporting this girl, advising her. She would tell me, oh, I want to come, let's go to yoga. At that time, I was do yoga. I wasn't that strong of a believer. I will take my yoga. I even bought a yoga mat. I'll take you, we'll go in the morning and do yoga and come back. You know, we were friends. This girl and I were getting close. Every time I saw her and him together, my heart would drop. I say, this is the guy I used to date. Now he's dating this girl. Now she's become a friend because, you know, I've allowed these people into my circle. Oh God, have mercy on me. Anyway, long story short, you know, the friendship continued. I supported them. Eventually, she got pregnant. She was pregnant for him. I even went to the baby shower. I'm the one who I did a lot of stuff for the baby shower. You know, I got her some clothes. I supported them. At that time, I was completely over the relationship. And I was like, you know what? Once they had the baby, I was like, you know, it's time for me to back up completely. Like, even when it comes to the friendship, because I was over the relationship, we never even talked about the two of us anymore.
But you went to the baby shower.
I went to the baby shower. He appreciated me as a friend so much that, you know, he would say things like, Veronica, you are really one of the best people I ever dated, because even though we broke up, you are still supportive of me, you know. So I was pretty much sacrificing myself for this guy's happiness, you know, because he needed my companionship, he needed my friendship, he needed my advices and the kind of person I was. And I was sacrificing who I was, you know. I went to the baby shower, did stuff for them, you know, at the end came home. After I came home, I was like, you know what? This is really messed up. Like, I can't continue to do this to myself. I'm more than this.
Yeah.
So eventually, after the baby shower, they would reach out to me, be like, oh, once the baby was born, we need help. We need this. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not available. Every time they would reach out, I became less and less available.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, it's like God came in and God was teaching me and God was protecting me. It's like, you are more than this. You are more than this, Veronica. I didn't create you to be this, to do this, you know, to sacrifice yourself. You sacrificed your relationship. You sacrificed your peace of mind. You sacrificed who you are. You forgave yet, you know. And so these things started coming. It's like a self-awareness kind of thing. And once I started realizing that, I decided that, okay, I no longer wanted anything to do with these people. I loved them, but I could only love them from a distance. I felt bad for the girl because she saw me as a sister. You know, she started calling me sister. And so she would text and I'd be like, I'm sorry, I can't meet today. It started becoming like that. Every time she would reach out, I'm sorry, I can't meet today. Can you watch the baby for me for like an hour? I'm so sorry, I'm busy, I can't. It's not because I didn't want to, but I wanted to take myself out of their circle.
Yeah.
And if I didn't do that, I would have still been a part of that.
Yeah.
You know, I was no longer interested in him for the longest time since he broke up with the relationship by cheating and having an affair. You know, but yet I was still hanging out.
Yeah.
So
it was an unhealthy relationship that you had to begin with.
Yes.
And you were hanging on. And so that's why you were still involved in their circle. So the only way to actually recover and grow was to cut that off.
Completely. And I didn't know how to do that. You know, this girl is looking up to me like a sister. She's telling people that she's found a sister in me that she's never found anyone else. I'm like, hey, what is this? You know, meanwhile I'm miserable and I'm like trying to figure out my life, trying to see where to go from there, you know, because this guy and I had made plans and all that. I had to let everything go just to be a good person to this girl, you know. Long story short, when it came to time of our wedding,
which was how long after all this?
That it was like, I would say 4 years.
Yeah, so it was a while.
It was a while. So 4 years, you know, I had dated someone else already. That relationship, he was even worse. Oh my gosh. That relationship didn't work out at all. And so I meted, telling her courting, I know that he's the one because everything aligns so perfectly with this man right here. And I'm like, you know what? Praise be to God. Like I told you in our previous video, I kept our relationship very private. A lot of people didn't know about it until the latest part, around the time we're getting married, that's when people started finding out about this relationship, okay? And the people that found out, for some reason, people talk. This person reaches out to this person. Oh, Vera is getting married. Did you hear?
Of course.
You know, even when you want to
stopping it.
That's not even when you want to keep things private. Okay, Vera is getting married. Did you hear? Vera is getting married. So I'm there one day. I'm like stressed about the wedding, trying to figure out 1 and 2. Ted is in a different state. I'm in a different state. I see this message popped up on my Instagram, my DM, okay? And when the message came in, it was this guy. Veronica, congratulations. I said, first of all, how? Like, how did you even hear about me getting married? Like, where is the congratulations coming from? Veronica, congratulations. I wish you all the best. Oh, you deserve this so much. Oh man, I couldn't be more happy for you. This could have been us, but I know God had a better plan for you.
This could have been us?
Yes. I'm not even kidding. But I know God had
Yeah.
I know God had a better plan for you. I said I will become just by seeing his number, because we were friends at one point, I wasn't even stressed anymore. I was like, okay. I said, oh, thank you so much. When I hit you with the brother, know that you are completely done. Okay, when I hit you with the brother, when I call you brother, you are done. So, and a lot of women do that. I said, thank you so much, brother. May the Lord bless you. Thank you. So at that time, I was back in the faith and I was walking in the knowledge of God. You couldn't, oh my goodness, my intuition was high. The Holy Spirit was protecting me and you couldn't tell me nothing. So I was like, thank you so much, brother. He was like, oh, well, and he mentioned his girlfriend's name. They are still girlfriend and boyfriend, okay? They have 2 kids by now, okay? Well, we have 2 kids. I'm not sure if you heard about it. I'm like, oh, I've heard. Congratulations. Sorry I didn't reach out when you guys had a second baby. You know, life happens. It was like, it's all good, you know. I mean, we are not too busy around this time. So if you want us to come to the wedding to support you like you supported us in the past, we'd love to stop by, you know. I'm like, oh, no, it's fine. You guys have 2 kids and I know that kids can be a lot. You don't have to worry about coming to our wedding. We are good. He was like, oh no, I personally want to be there to support you. I said, the devil is a liar. Come to my wedding? You? I know he meant no harm, but I was like, I'm sorry. I mean, he was saying all the nicest thing he could say. Do you need a ride here? Because he knew I didn't drive. Do you need a ride here to do this? I'm like, I'm good. Everything is under control. We are not having a big wedding. The wedding is very small. He was like, oh, who is this lucky guy? Can I see? I was like, no, you can't see a picture. I said, after the wedding, maybe we'll post some pictures on Instagram and maybe you can see it. But other than that, we already have our guest list all completely and I can't really have anyone else.
So she shut him down.
I shut him down instantly. One of the reasons why I did that, not because I was bitter or holding on to anything, because I had forgiven him completely and I let it go. Like, I was friends with this guy even after he cheated on me. I was friends with him. I was friends with his girlfriend. I became good friends to them. So it's not like I wanted anything from them, okay? But I wanted to respect my relationship with Ted.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to have anybody that I dated in the past come to. I didn't invite any of my exes. I didn't invite any of their family members. I wouldn't do that. Only one person. I know that person is the one who reached out to him and be like, oh, Vero is getting married, blah, 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 blah. And that person happened to be in the same circle, so I couldn't get rid of her. So it was fine. I was like, you know what? Eventually she's like, oh yeah, oh, you didn't invite this person. I'm like, actually, no, I didn't want to have anyone I dealt with my past in my present. This is too good. I don't need that energy around me. And so that is the story on how I did not invite my ex to the wedding.
Even though he tried to be invited.
He tried to.
Well, we did a video where we covered, should you continue to have a relationship and speak to your ex after you've been married? Mm-hmm. And the conclusion that we came to and discussed was obviously, no, you shouldn't. Mm-hmm. And that's really what this is all about.
Yeah.
This whole story is about just when it's time to move on, you move on. Yeah. Just because somebody was part of your past doesn't mean they need to be part of your future. Mm-hmm. And obviously, when you're marrying somebody, now your commitment is for that person.
Yeah.
That person alone. Yeah. You're not like hanging on to memories or even relationships or whatever from the past.
Mm-hmm. And the enemy is busy. Like, the enemy is busy. If he can use any of your past to get to you, he will do that. And he always tries to do that. And when I tell you, around the time of my wedding, that's where all the snake heads started rising up. I was like, okay, each snake head cut down one by one, one by one, until completely shut everyone out. I'm like, okay.
You had killed the Hydra.
Oh no, everyone is out. You have no connection to me. Some of them were pissed.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, how come you didn't invite me? How come you didn't do this? And I thank God, because to be honest with you, this guy was not African. Because if he was African, it would have been another story. because Africans, they stick together. They stick together. And Africans, they show up to your wedding, whether you invite them or you don't invite them. So this guy was not African. If he was African, I'm pretty sure that whether I invited him or not, he would have been there. These days, things have changed a little bit and they actually honor invitations. But back in the days, I've gone to plenty events where I was not invited. I just showed up, take it or leave it. But, so I thank God he wasn't African, because if he was, he probably would have showed up without being invited. And I probably would have been like, oh, it's fine, it's the past. But I didn't need that energy into my new circle. I didn't need that energy into my new blessing. And so please, stay where you are. But that was the story on how I did not invite my ex to the wedding. Thank you so much for joining us again on another episode of Ted and Vero TV. I love story time, and I love that Ted gets to hear some of my life stories, and you get to hear them as well. Don't forget to share this video, and have a wonderful day, everybody.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
See you soon.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.